INFJ Relationship Blueprint, Navigating Love with Clarity. I want to start with a truth that most INFJs don't say out loud. Love has never been simple for us. Not because we're dramatic, not because we're picky, not because we're hard to please, but because INFJs don't date. We merge. We don't talk. We understand. We don't try. We commit emotionally on a level that feels spiritual. And when you love like that, clarity matters more than chemistry. Depth matters more than desire. Connection matters more than compatibility. So today I'm giving you the INFJ Relationship Blueprint. Not the fluffy version, not the romanticized version, not the watered-down love languages version. I'm giving you the psychologically accurate, painfully honest, neurologically grounded guide to how INFJs love and how INFJs thrive in love. This is for INFJs who love deeply but cautiously, INFJs who give everything but reveal almost nothing, INFJs who feel misunderstood in relationships that were supposed to feel safe, INFJs who crave connection but refuse to settle for connection without truth, and INFJs who fear losing themselves in the very love they desire. INFJs don't fall in love. We fall into alignment. And when something feels emotionally misaligned, even slightly, the entire relationship becomes noise. Let me begin with the first truth INFJs must understand to navigate love with clarity. INFJs don't fall for people. We fall for patterns. How someone speaks, how they listen, how they treat others, how they respond to tension, how they handle uncertainty, how they process emotion. We notice everything. And we build an emotional profile before the other person even realizes we're paying attention. This is why INFJs rarely fall fast, but when we do, it's complete, it's immersive, it's intuitive, it's absolute. Unfortunately, that level of depth also sets us up for heartbreak if the other person can't match the emotional maturity we're offering. Let's talk about why INFJs love so differently. The INFJ brain processes relationships through ni and phi, meaning we automatically scan for emotional truth, relational patterns, and long-term compatibility. We don't date casually, we date with vision. So when something feels off, we don't ignore it. We feel it in the gut, the chest, the intuition. Most types wait for evidence. INFJs feel the evidence before it arrives. INFJs don't leave relationships suddenly. We leave internally months before the goodbye happens. Now let's explore the biggest INFJ relationship challenge, communication. INFJs speak in meaning, nuance, emotional context, and unspoken layers. But most people speak in literal language. This mismatch leads to one universal INFJ experience, being misunderstood by people who genuinely love us. INFJs say, "I'm fine" when we're hurting but don't feel safe yet. INFJs withdraw when we're overwhelmed, not because we don't care. INFJs hesitate before expressing needs because we don't want to burden anyone. INFJs offer emotional support effortlessly, but struggle to ask for it in return. This creates an imbalance in relationships. INFJs become emotional anchors, but rarely emotional recipients. We end up loving deeply, giving wisely, sacrificing silently, and receiving inconsistently. And that's when resentment, exhaustion, or emotional numbness enters. Not because we don't love the person, but because the relationship stopped nourishing us. INFJs don't need more affection. We need more attunement. Attunement is the INFJ love language. It's not, "Do you love me?" It's, "Do you understand me?" It's, "Are you present with me emotionally?" It's, "Do you hear the things I don't say?" It's, "Are you willing to meet me at the depth where I live?" When INFJs find attunement, their entire nervous system relaxes. Love becomes oxygen instead of obligation. Connection becomes effortless instead of draining. But without attunement, love feels like walking barefoot on broken glass. Every step requires self-protection. The INFJ inner room. Imagine your heart is a house with many rooms. Some rooms are for acquaintances, bright, neat, organized. Some are reserved for friends, warm, comfortable, familiar. But the innermost room, that is the INFJ sanctuary, the room of truth, The room of scars, the room of childhood wounds, secret dreams, intuitive insights, emotional maps, and unspoken fears. Most people will never enter it, and that's not coldness, it's discernment. When an INFJ lets someone into that room, it is the highest form of trust we can give. But if the person mishandles that access through dismissal, emotional laziness, or inconsistency, the door closes instantly, quietly, permanently. And that's why INFJ breakups seem sudden from the outside, but were decided internally long before the final goodbye. Once an INFJ loses emotional safety, the relationship ends, even if the relationship continues. Now let's talk about compatibility. Contrary to popular belief, INFJs are not looking for perfection. We are looking for consistency, depth, emotional intelligence, self-awareness, reciprocity, honesty that doesn't wobble. INFJs don't care if someone is flawed, and we care if someone is real. A flawed, self-aware partner is paradise. A polished but emotionally unavailable partner is torture. INFJs also connect more deeply when the other person communicates with emotional clarity. We thrive in relationships where someone says, I feel this way. This hurt me. This matters to me. This is what I need. This is what I fear. Directness calms the INFJ nervous system. Ambiguity triggers mental overdrive. What INFJs need in a relationship: 1. Emotional safety, the ability to tell the truth without consequence. INFJs open slowly, but once open, we love holistically. 2. Intellectual intimacy, deep conversation that stimulates nigh. Small talk starves us, big talk feeds us. 3. Reciprocity, mutual giving, mutual understanding, not equal energy, equal intention. 4. Predictability, not monotony, but consistency. Chaos shuts us down, reliability opens us up. 5. Space, time to recharge, reflect, and feel. INFJs are not distant, we are deep processors. 6. Attunement, emotional presence instead of emotional assumptions. We don't need mind reading, we need effort. 7. Honesty, even when uncomfortable. INFJs can handle truth better than they can handle vagueness. How INFJs can strengthen their relationships. 1. Speak needs before resentment forms. Your partner cannot sense your intuition. 2. Name your emotional patterns. I withdraw when overwhelmed. I need time to process. This topic triggers my childhood wounds. These statements save relationships. 3. Stop filtering your truth through protection. Speak authentically, not adaptively. 4. Let people help you. You don't have to be the emotional caretaker 24/7. 5. Explain your internal room. People don't know how sacred it is unless you tell them. INFJs love like old souls, intuitively, intensely, and intentionally. And when we learn to communicate our inner world instead of hiding it, we attract the relationships we were designed for. Not shallow connections, not half-present partners, but deep, attuned, emotionally intelligent love. Love with clarity, love with honesty, love with meaning. INFJs are not difficult to love. We just require the kind of love that most people don't know how to give yet. But when the right person arrives, someone who values depth more than convenience, the INFJ heart becomes the safest, warmest, most transformative place on earth.